There is a lot of people speculating that the real estate market is about to burst and crash. And there's a lot of good reasons why that may be the case, but there's also some reasons why it may not be true. So in today's video, we're going to unpack where we're standing in the Atlanta and Marietta area as of the end of the first quarter, what we're currently seeing on the ground right now as a professional real estate agent who is working with a lot of clients as well as talking to a lot of realtors. And then if you stay for the end, I'm going to share with you whether I think it's a good time to consider buying or selling right now in the summer of 2022. So let's get started. Hi, my name's Connie Carlson and I'm a local realtor here in Marietta, Georgia. And each week I put out videos explaining what it's like living here in Georgia and some tips to help you live there too. So if that's the kind of information that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe and mash down that bell icon so you don't miss any of our great content. People ask me all the time, is it a good housing market? And I always answer them with this one response. Well, that depends. Are you buying a home or are you selling a home? Because a real estate market is usually good for one side or the other. And for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, it's been a fabulous time to be a seller in the real estate market. Homes sell very, very quickly and prices continue to go up. It hasn't been such a great market though if you're a buyer. And if any of you are out there who've been trying to buy a home and continue to lose out in multiple offer situations or see the home of your dream become out of reach because of increasing prices or increasing interest rates, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a good real estate market if you're a buyer. So whenever we talk about the market crashing or all of these different things happening, you always need to understand that it may be good for one side and bad for the other. And if you're straddling the fence on both sides of those, it could be good or bad for you. So, hey, there's no surprise here. The number of homes available for sale at the end of April was still lower than it was last year. And we felt that deeply as we were trying to help our buyers find property. Any sort of new construction is being gobbled up almost as quickly as they can release the inventory. And then we have fewer people wanting to put their home on the market because they don't know where they're going to go if their house sells. So we've kind of gotten into this spiral where there's fewer homes available for sale. And yet interest rates had been the first quarter of the year pretty low. But now what we're doing is we're starting to see those interest rates creep up. In fact, they've creeped up, I think, almost 3% since the beginning of the year. So that might put the brakes on a lot of buyer demand. When buyers go to make an offer on a house and they are competing with many other buyers for that same house, they tend to get a little crazy on what they offer. And that has caused the prices in Marietta and the Atlanta housing market to skyrocket, 20% increase over last year. And it's really hard for home buyers to be able to afford a home that's increasing at that rate, especially when wages haven't been increasing at the same rate. And that is an affordability issue. And whenever we get into a situation where homes become unaffordable, that is going to slow down buyer demand. And in the end, I think over the next few months, we're not going to see that type of appreciation that we've seen in the previous 12 months. Now, the question is, are home prices going to start to decline? And there's differing opinions on that. I personally don't think that prices are going to just have a big drop, only because we still have really low inventory levels. And until those start to balance out, I don't see any reason for prices to drop. Even in the last couple weeks, we maybe are seeing less showings at our properties and fewer offers, but we're still getting multiple offers and we're still selling above the list price in a lot of cases. So as of May, we're still seeing really strong support for the current prices, and until things change, it's going to stay that way. When the median price of a home on a per square foot basis increases 25% year over year, and you add increasing interest rates, that makes the cost of a home a lot more expensive for buyers. And this is what we're seeing right now happening in the real estate market. There are a lot of buyers that came into the market. I have one buyer in particular I'm thinking of. They had a $700,000 budget. They thought they were going to be able to get exactly what they wanted. And what's happening is prices are increasing so fast that they can't seem to catch up. and the house they want is just always just one step away from them. It only took 5 days on average for a home in Marietta and Atlanta to go under contract once it was listed. And that's hardly no time at all. And it's a record low number of days on market. Now, what I think is going to happen is as the market wanes a little bit, we're going to see homes stay on the market a little bit longer. But that doesn't mean you need to panic. It is still a very strong seller's market, and one that it would still be a very good time if you're thinking of selling to get into. The National Association of Realtors says that a 6-month supply of inventory is a balanced market. Anything less than 6 months is considered advantageous to sellers. And for the last couple years, it has been incredibly advantageous for sellers. And it continues to be that way right now. We're still only at a 1 month of inventory. And while we're starting to see those numbers creep up, it's still a long way from being 6 months of inventory. Over the last couple of years, I've talked to a number of potential buyers who said that they think the market's going to crash, and therefore they are going to put off buying a home, waiting for prices to drop. And over the last 2 years, that has not worked out so well for them. Prices continue to increase, a 20% increase like we saw earlier in Atlanta in the last 12 months. So the question is, are we at the top, and are the prices going to drop down? Now, I personally do not think we're going to see a huge price drop, but I think a more realistic approach is to assume that prices are going to continue to increase, but at a more normal rate of 3% or 4% over the next few years. And so holding off and waiting for a price drop may end up costing you more money in the long run. Now, if you're a seller and you're thinking about selling, now is the time. Inventory levels are still really low, and even though interest rates have increased, we're still seeing that spring demand. So don't delay in getting your home on the market, because if you do wait till next year or even later this year, we don't really know what's going to happen. If interest rates continue to increase or we move into a recession, it could take you longer to sell your house. You may not have as many showings as if you listed it now. You are in a situation where you want to sell your home or you want to buy a home, we would love to chat with you to see if, considering your circumstances, if now's the right time to do that. So make sure you give us a call. We'll put all our contact information down below. And while you're at it, check out this video right here where I share how to win in a multiple offer situation. So if you are a buyer, it might be exactly what you're looking for. So let's go over there and check it out right now.